What do property buyers agents really do behind the scenes?
Well, as the name says, buyer's agent's job is to buy a property for you. That is what they do. But if I were to explain it to you in a very simple way, I'm going to share my screen with you, and that will give you an idea of how it looks like. There we go. All right, perfect. So let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yep, I could see it.
All right. So your question is what the buyer's agent do. So it is very important for us to first understand the types of buyer's agents. One buyer's agent is going to be a type of who is going to help you buy owner-occupied properties. Uh, Owner-occupied properties are purchased with emotions. Someone looking for a particular house in a particular area. We're not much into it, so I'm not going to touch upon that. We are more into the investment space. So let's talk about if there is an investor savvy buyer's agent, what they do usually. So most of them would be at a national level, whereas means that if there is an opportunity in Queensland, they'll go there. If there's an opportunity in WA, they'll go there, and likewise in every state. And then there will be some local buyers agents as well, which are specific to a particular LGA, a particular suburb, or a particular state. So there are different types of that. Now, in this as well, you want to understand there are three types of investor buyers agents. So let me give you an example how it is going to look like. So one, two, and three. Number one is going to be solo. These guys are someone who is into their job. They're trying to make some extra bucks as a side hustle. You can find them anywhere and everywhere in every offices. There are number of them because buyers agency as a trend is taking up. So these guys are there. Some are good, some may be compromising because they have a full-time job. Imagine you're exhausted at 6 p.m. You're starting up your buyers agency at that point of time. Most of the agents have gone to sleep. You're still working, so there are its own challenges. So that is number one. Number two is big boys. So big boys are the ones you would be seeing their advertisements a lot. They take about 100 clients per month. Unfortunately, there are no 100 great suburbs. Unfortunately, there are not 100 properties every month. So in here they will actually put you into different baskets. Now, if you follow the data, the data will take you to top two or three suburbs, which could be like these three suburbs. And in each of these suburbs, you will get about 10 to 20 properties per month. So it is hard for one of the big companies to go and capture all of these properties. That is why they will take you into different suburbs. Now, as a consumer, you might be like, wow, I'm going with a company, a big
Hmm.
conglomerate and everything else. But in reality, they have no other choice to get you a property, and that will be some compromised property as well. The third one is going to be boutique. Now, boutique is usually doing like 10 to 20 clients per month. That is their capacity. They usually have staff of about 4 to 8 team members, and these guys will again follow the data and take you to the markets and find you the properties. Now, typically, how you would look at it is um, how to find the locations. You will be looking at some resources. Resources could be the private resources, and then there could be some government data as well. So for example, I will give you some example. So government data could be Australia Bureau of Statistics. Government data could be council websites, and then much more. And private data could be, for example, using platforms like DSR, platforms like Terry Rider. So these are the platforms which the buyers agents would be doing. And then there is a lot of stuff which goes behind the scenes, negotiations, finding off markets, on markets, pre markets. Sunny, the question can go as deep as you want, but this is at a very high level what a buyer's agent does.
Okay, so what are I guess, the shocking benefits, man, that investors are actually, the average investors are missing out on?
Shocking benefits.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you asking the shocking benefits of investing, or are you talking about shocking benefits of using a buyer's agent?
Well, what are we missing out on by not using a buyer's agent?
You are actually not missing out much because you can actually educate yourself. So I'm big advocate for education because when I came into the country, I did not hire a buyer's agent myself. I educated myself, but at that point of time, I had time. I was working for Commonwealth Bank at a very junior level. I was hardly making about 70 to about 75K uh, plus comms. So my time was not very expensive. So I used that time to educate myself. But someone who is on a pay package of about 200 to 300K or maybe more, their time would be much more precious. So education might not be for everyone. So my first preference personally would be education. That is number one. Number two, if you cannot do it, then of course you hire a professional who has done themselves quite a number of times, and professional buyers agent are out there. You have to interview a few of them to understand which ones you want to use. So these are the two ways to get into the market. Now your question was shocking benefits that average investors don't know. So the first thing is a lot of people do not know that they can use the equity to buy an investment property. Now, equity is very, very simple. Let's say you had bought a property, that property you had bought for about $600,000. This was purchased in 2020, for example, and now your property has become $900,000 in about 2025. So there is a gap of about this $300,000. Okay, so that is the gap. Let's say on this property, your loan is just $400,000 left. So what most of the banks will do is if you'll go to the bank, they will give you 80 to 90% of the money. They'll say, I can lend you this money minus the loan amount. So that could be the figure which will be giving you a usable equity. So this is what a lot of people do not know, that you can use this equity to buy the investment property. A lot of people, what they do is keep on saving the money, which takes a lot of time, long time, years and years and years. So you don't have to go that path. You can easily use this equity to get into the property market. So that is one of the shocking benefits that a lot of average people do not even realize. And then also these days, we are in 23, 24, 25. These days, you have got data in abundance. So you can actually use data to reach out to the markets wherein the demand is going up and supply is going down, because that is where the property prices will go really, really up. So demand is going up and supply is going down using data. And just avoid listening to someone who is in your social circle who has not even done it, and they are saying, why are you doing it? So they have absolutely no idea. So these are some of the shocking benefits which I come on everyday basis on an average.
Oh, that's fair, man. And what are some of the hidden strategies that I guess maybe you use that you would recommend for good portfolio success?
Okay, so for me, one of the strategies what I had been using is using the equity. So knowing how much your property has gone up in value will give you power that you'll be able to actually use that money to buy your next investment properties. So what someone like myself who has done in the past is, for example, if me and my wife, we have got a household income of about 300K, for example. Okay.
Hmm.
And based on things, this banks can give us loans of about, let's say, 1.5 million, for example, hypothetically. Okay. And this is not a financial advice to anyone because I'm not even licensed to give you the advice. I'm just letting you know exactly how I have done it, how someone else can also do it if they wish to. So when you make $300,000, you're given five times the money as a loan, and you can actually use that money to buy investment properties. Now you can buy two investment properties, or you can buy three investment properties. Let's say buying a property for about 400K, 400K, and about 400K. And if you are going to follow the data, these properties can essentially go to 600K, 600K, 600K in a very short span of time. So there are quite a few strategies. There is a strategy like a buy and hold,
Hmm.
buy and hold strategy, wherein you are holding the properties for about 10 to 12 years, sometimes more as well. And then there are strategies like buy and sell as well. So based on where you're going right now, I'm showing you both in one format itself. If you like to hold this property for, let's say, 10 years, these properties can further become, let's say, 800K. But let's say you are going with a buy and sell strategy, you are just looking at about 5 years, for example, in this case. So property of 400 becomes 600. And if you calculate the buying buying and selling cost, and you take a approximation number, each property will give you about 100K profit if this happens in about, let's say, 3 to 4 years time, which can happen many times using the data. Now this 100K, that is about 300K. 300K is your money which you can actually use to pay off your principal place of residence. So there are quite a few ways which you can use as a strategy to build up your property portfolio. Once your principal place is paid off, then you can go again, rinse and repeat, and build up your property portfolio. So if that is what your question was, this is what my answer is.
Yeah, no, this is good. I mean, what about like what's the fast track to stress-free investing? Because it can be stressful.
Okay, stress free. So if the question is stress free, so let me tell you, there is nothing like stress free. Okay, so if you are going to be on the pathway of buying properties after properties and after properties, and I've done it myself, and I've done it with some advanced investors as well. When you go this path, you make lots of compromises. Now, these compromises are mean may mean that you spend less and save more. This means that you don't go on holidays. This means you are not doing your luxury shopping as well. So there is nothing like stress free. But if you are going on to the pathway of building up a property portfolio, then please understand that if you are going to go and do this, let's say these properties are at about 400K, 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 and 400K. And if these properties touch about 800K, 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 and likewise, and if we are, let's say, talking about 8 years,
Hmm.
then there will be likelihood that you will be able to sell these three properties and pay off these two properties, and these two properties collectively will give you a rent in your pocket, 30K, 30K, and then that is about 60K per year. We're talking about this as your passive income. So while your focus question was stress free, I'm confirming that there is nothing like stress free unless you have got a lot of cash sitting in here so that you're not under stress. But if you're going to go this path, there is going to be stress for sure. There has to have some compromises made.
That's stressful.
Has to
I
be.
guess I guess that's stress to start with. Once you build it up, then you'll eventually be stress-free if it all goes well. That's what I'm hearing. Um, I guess big question, why are we losing money? Why would I be losing money, if I was going to do this on my own or without expert help?
I don't think that you are okay. So I don't think that you cannot do DIY. So you can definitely do DIY, and do DIY is do it yourself. So I'm a big believer for doing it yourself if you can. But what I have also come across is that a lot of people are time poor. So because they are time poor, they feel like I'm going to do it myself, and then they don't do it for 12 months. They don't do it for 24 months.
Yeah.
And then the time goes by and they do not take action. So the number one is what they are losing is time. So if they cannot do it themselves, it's okay to hire a professional. And let me give you this one more advice as well, that if you are going to be using a professional, and let's say that professional is going to cost you 15 to $20,000 per property as well, that's okay. The reason is, if this property is going to go up in value by 200K, which happens normally these days, and I'm saying in 2 to 3 years, if that happens, because you spend this money, you have made this much of money. So you're still better off by just thinking that I will do it myself and you do not do it. So that is what I would say, that you are losing by not using a professional or an expert if you can't do it yourself.
It's fair. Time is money.
Absolutely.
No, that's good, Rocky. I appreciate everything you've shared, giving me a lot to think about. Think we are, man. I've still got the whiteboard in my mind and that big stress-free sign. I believe I will be stress-free if I go down the right path. But yeah, the equity thing was good. Obviously, being able to pull out the equity, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I think there's a couple of strategies there that I probably, yeah, I don't think most of us would know about.
Not really, to be honest. I speak with so many people, Sunny. I do not judge anyone. Uh, Now, why? Because I initially thought that a lot of people know what an equity is. A lot of people know how to take loan, how to think, the mindset thing. I don't think that a lot of people know. Hence, the education bases like this are going to contribute to anyone. So you might know about equities, but normally a lot of people do not know. Last month, I was speaking with a family, and they're in their uh, late 50s now, and now they are using equity and everything else. And in the conversation, I was asking them that, hey, why didn't you do this earlier? And they actually said that we had absolutely no idea. And we were actually saving up cash to buy a property, and one of the relatives said that you have your property price gone up, your loan is so low, why are you not using equity? That is when things triggered. So I wouldn't imagine everyone would know it. So it is not simple, man.
Yeah, no, it is. There's obviously different moving parts. And I guess just as we're talking about that, the strategy and things that you're talking about, would it look different if you're doing it through super? Because that's again a whole nother can of worms, which is can be quite confusing and has been confusing for me to get my head around.
Yeah. So super is like absolutely something different ball game altogether. I'm not even licensed to be discussing about that, but yeah, that is a different ball game altogether.
Conversation for another time. Nah, appreciate it, Rocky. That was very educational and do feel like I understand it a bit better.
Sure. Thank you, Sunny, for your time. Take care.
Thank you, Rocky.